is Manga Samuel, and I'm interested in everything concerning tech. I'm passionate about tech, and I'm here to get more information about this program. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. But from what I can see, I think you're a boy. Is that not so?
Yes.
Okay, great. That along the way, I think you can pick up one or two things that will actually be shared here that will help you maybe when you try apply for other things or in your day-to-day life. So I don't think you are still at the wrong place. You are still at the right place. So I will urge you to kindly persevere while the others have to join to the meeting. I think it will be great. Thank you. Welcome, Miss Kyria.
Thank you, Mr. Kah.
Okay, as you can see, we are actually waiting for the participants to actually get into the meeting. So they aren't yet there. Only one person is connected, Samuel Manga, but we are still discussing with them so that they can quickly join and we have the session and they respect our time. So I will urge you to please persevere with us aren't yet there so that we can discuss with them. They quickly join. Thank you.
Okay, noted.
They waiting for the participants or those that are aspiring to apply for the TechGirls program. So we'll quickly start while they join us. So thank you once more again for the for joining the meeting and respecting to our request. So I'm going to start with a brief introduction of what the TechGirls program is all about. So the TechGirl program is actually a US-based summer exchange program which is designed to empower and support young women from the age of 15 to 17. And it's a program which is launched in the US, and the selected countries pursue a higher education and a career in science, technology, engineering, and math. That is the STEM field through a hand-on skill development training. So in 2025, the program will support 111 young women from 37 participating countries. That's 13 US peers in dynamic 3 weeks US based experience with 7 month with a 7 month mentoring program, including pre or post exchange. So the core of the Tech Girl program is a 23-day experience in the United States in partnership with Virginia Tech. Participants engage in interactive tech camp that provides an in-depth examination of cutting-edge technologies and various educational and professional path in STEM fields. Then, tech girls travel to cities around the US, that's Austin, Cincinnati, Denver, Detroit, Kansas City, or Seattle for community immersion and STEM career exploration. The Tech Girls program yields multiplier effect as participants return home to conduct community-based project with 7 months of mentorship. So after the program uh, is over, guys are expected the participants are expected to move back to their countries and actually apply the different things they learned during the Tech Girls program. So that's just a brief introduction about what the Tech Girl program is all about. So we are going to proceed uh, a panel of Tech Girl program alumni. That is an alumni of the Tech Girl program. That's Britney Mukoko, who actually share her experience with us, tell us how it was over there, how that is, she's just going to give us everything about her experience. Thank you. And Brittany, please kindly introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Britney and I'm a tech girl from the Pioneer batch 2022, and I'm so excited to be here today. Special thanks to the TIC Foundation for this opportunity. So the Tech Girls program is really an amazing opportunity. Like, it's a life-changing opportunity, if I should put it that way, because since I got back from the US, I've experienced things that I probably would have never experienced at such a young age if I did not have this opportunity. So I got the I got the link to apply for the Tech Girls program um, when it was first launched in Cameroon in 2022, and I applied for the program and I got selected. And it was amazing in the US, from meeting amazing girls from over 136 girls from over 36 countries, to meeting different people and professionals. We had a university experience at Virginia Tech University. That was a 10-day experience where we worked like university students, even though most of us were juniors in high school. While at Virginia Tech University, I had the opportunity to work with two girls. So they divided us into teams and in different classes. So we took different courses. There were 4 courses, and I took ASUM, which is automating systems using microprocessors. And in our class, we were divided into like 10 groups. So I worked with 2 girls from Egypt and Kosovo to solve a common challenge that we face in our countries. And our problem was centered around agriculture. I mean, it was an amazing opportunity, like an amazing time, just working with professionals, being able to compare the educational system we are used to in Cameroon to what we experienced in the US. Like, it was really great, and it taught me so many lessons. I took a lot of notes and remarks, and I began to see the educational system in Cameroon in a different light. Like, there is more that we can do. Also, we had the opportunity to visit places like the White House. We went to NASA. I mean, and then one of the we had someone speak to us. He has been to space before, so he spoke to us about his experience, and it was really amazing. One of the astronauts, it was really amazing. We visited the facility, saw the project that they're launching, which is next year actually, and it was really great. We connected with the staffs at NASA. We fed our eyes a lot. It was awesome. We visited also the museum that has the aerospace museum. We saw different aircrafts, seeing aircrafts that you can hardly see, like made from Cameroon. We saw different aircrafts that had different stories, aircrafts from the First World War, from the Second World War, and stuff like that. Really, really amazing. Things that just, made me to understand that there's a lot more that comes with exploration. There's a lot more that comes with international experience and exposure. And I really encourage everybody to apply for the Tech Girls program if if you are in this webinar and you are eligible. Also, we went to Capitol Hill. It was really awesome there. We visited the Senate. We went to the US Department of State. We made a lot of connections. And even right now, 3 years later, or is it? Yeah. 2022. Okay, 2 years later, I'm still experiencing and enjoying the favors and privileges of being a tech girl. Like after the program, I had the opportunity to connect with the girls I met at in the US, and some of them who were not even tech girls that I had the opportunity to meet maybe at Target or at the Virginia Tech campus. And some of them have really been of help to the work that I'm doing in Cameroon. You know, like they support me financially, they support me emotionally. You know, we have this relationship and bond that is built, and they share opportunities. I mean, Tech Girls is awesome. It's an amazing opportunity, even though like the food was not something that we were really used to. I mean, when we got to the US, the first thing I saw was bacon and some tacos and stuff like that. I mean, I just got from Cameroon. I was, you know, it was kind of that cultural shock that I experienced at that time. 1 week into it, I was like, okay, let's adapt. And then later on, I just stick to chicken and fries. So that's what I had like 3/4 of my time in the US. And then something that also happened that is in relation with the food is, can you imagine that we toured Washington when we got back? We toured Washington when we got back from Virginia, and one day we went like to different places. We did not really have food, so when we came back to our hotel, expecting food, only to be welcomed with honey stew and pasta. Like there was literally honey in that stew, and they said it's a Mexican dish. And I was like, what is this? Just imagine, like, and then I started thinking, oh my God, if I was in Cameroon, maybe they would have been maybe rice and stew or eru, ondole or something. But then after that period, when the days were getting closer to return to Cameroon, you know, we did not want it to end. Like, I was in another Tech Girls information session earlier on, and one of the Tech Girls for 2024 was like, 5 days to return to Cameroon. Her and all her pot mates started to cry. Like they cried from the feast, like they cried to count down. So they cried 5 days straight until they left the US to their different countries. Because when you're in the US, you're in a family. When you're at the Tech Girls program, I mean, you're in a family. The people are so kind. You get to meet people who do things 360 degrees what you normally do, but you learn to accept their perspectives. You learn to come to a common understanding with them. I had also an amazing time with my roommates. I had 3 roommates throughout my experience. When we just got to the US, we were lodged in a hotel, and my roommate was from Cameroon, one of a tech girl that traveled with us. When we went to Virginia Tech University, my roommate was from Israel. And then when we came back to Washington, my roommate was another Cameroonian. So I learned to live together, like they say in French, vivre ensemble. I learned to live together with different people, just accept their perspectives and stuff like that. I learned to work in teams at Virginia Tech University, and it's really helping me now. Like with all the connections, Tech Girls is an investment. All right, it goes way beyond going to the US, having fun, not wanting to come back, but eventually coming back. It goes beyond that. It has to do with, what do you pick from your experience? What do you pick from what you see every day? What do you pick from the lessons you learn from the people you meet every day? And how can those experiences, how can those lessons help you to shape your community, help you to, you know, impact young people in your community? For example, when I got back from the US, I mean, I saw the educational system in Cameroon. I was like, what is this? So I had to start organizing tech boot camps, I started meeting ministers like Minister of Secondary Education, Minister of Post and Telecommunication. I was at the UN Women, UNICEF, and so on, advocating for quality education in Cameroon, because what I saw in the US was totally different from what we have in Cameroon. So this experience pushed me to do something as well. Also, when I got back from Cameroon, I started working on a project that I developed during my TechGirls experience at Virginia Tech University. So we started this project, my teammate and I, as a joke. It's called Smart Agricultural Monitoring Systems, and it's a technology that helps farmers to optimize their agricultural yield. So when I got back, I was like, the project was not supposed to die after my TechGirls experience. I started implementing it in Cameroon, and so far it's helping a lot of farmers. And also, the TechGirls experience is a door opener. Like when I got back and I meet someone, or I go to like I grab something, I'm doing this, and I say I'm a tech girl, they'll be like, wow, it opens doors. They'll be like, okay, take my card, come to my office, let's have this discussion, let's do this. It puts a label on you that shows maturity. It shows some level of responsibility. So it's a very, 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 very awesome experience. Like I cannot look at my life 2 years later and compare my life right now without Tech Girls in it. It would have been totally different. Tech Girls came and accelerated a lot of stuff, and I'm encouraging every girl in here. I know I've spoken a lot. I'm encouraging every girl in here, if you're between ages 15 to 17, if you're in lower six, please apply for the Tech Girls program. If you're in Form 5, Form 4, as far as you're 15 to 17 and you're passionate about STEM, which I believe everyone in this meeting is, apply for the Tech Girls program. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Britney Nkoko. It was a great one going through your experience. Uh, from what you've just shared with us, the Tech Girl is really a life-changing one. So I will really urge you guys to apply for this program. Okay, to proceed, we are going to one where Mr. Jules Mukam is going to give us a session on community engagement. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Good evening, Jospen. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for giving me the floor. I'd just like to take the time first to greet everybody else that's in the meeting. If you're here, I think you've listened to Britney already, which means you kind of understand how amazing the experience of Tech Girls is. Unfortunately, I'm a boy, so I know I couldn't go for Tech Girls. But if I'm here today, is to talk about community engagement. And before I start, I just had to make a little link up with what Brittany was talking about. In the sense where I think you guys noticed, she says after she came back to Cameroon from the Tech Girls Fellowship, she started implementing most of her ideas and her projects here in the community. And that's a very good example of community engagement. Now, to tell you guys a bit about what community engagement might be, and why it is important, I'll try to link it up with my personal story. When I was in high school, I did the STEM. So I did further maths, science, chemistry, physics. But now I'm a scholar at the American University of Beirut, and I study economics. So after I graduated from high school, I took a gap year, during which I had a lot of activities going on. And during that period, I realized that, I used to think I wanted to do engineering. But during that period, I personally realized engineering was not the thing I was most passionate about. And that's when I made the decision of applying to study economics in college. And that's mainly because of the community engagement experience I had. Community engagement, I would definitely recommend it to everybody because there's the first aspect in terms of volunteering where you get to help a lot of people. You get to go out there, try to solve problems that people are facing, trying to improve life for one, two, or three people. So there's a sense of fulfillment first that comes from having this impact in the lives of others. But there's a lot of inward development that also happens because the more you do community engagement, the more you carry out activities, then the more you discover things that about yourself that you didn't know about. Like assumptions in the sense where you may be thinking that project or that career field, you may be thinking engineering is the best thing for you as I thought. But then when you go do community engagement, you realize that you're more comfortable, you're more passionate about doing the business aspect of any project or about doing the management aspect of any project. And then you realize there something about yourself that you couldn't have realized without the experience of community engagement. So community engagement first gives you an inside perspective about things you really like doing and things that you would want to continue doing, maybe in college and after college. Now, another interesting thing is that in as much as it shows you things that you like doing, it's also a testament for others about things that you like doing. I think most of you guys who are in the meeting, you should have already gone through the application process for the TechGirls program, which means you realize there are places where you have to speak about your past experience with community engagement. And this is not just there by mistake. Almost every application that you have to apply, at some point, hopefully you guys will apply for college or for scholarships. There's always a question that asks about what is it that you were doing outside of the classroom. And this is because it's important because it shows what really drives you. Because if somehow you can tell them, well, I'm passionate about doing A, B, C, and D, that's just it. Anybody can say it. But when you say I'm passionate about doing A, B, C, and D, and I can prove it because in the last this number of years, I've been doing just that at this level. And I hope that by joining this program, I'll be able to achieve more. So that's an interesting part of career of community engagement because on one side, it first helps you to identify things about yourself, but then it serves as a proof for others to see the things that matters to you. Now, if I narrow it down a bit in the concept in the domain that we're talking about right now, let's say the TechGirls application. TechGirls is an initiative, and hopefully the United States is not just pouring out all of this money, just for you to have a nice vacation in the US, because it's fun, of course. Britney said it was, but you heard her. She said she had to do lectures. She had to work on projects. She had to visit some important places because there's an idea where there's a promise that you have to make in a sense where you go there to learn something and you have to come back and implement back home. So if you don't do community engagement or if you don't have any community engagement in your experience, you can't prove to the admission officers, you can't prove to the people reviewing your TechGirls application that you're truly going to go back and implement what you have learned to help people in your community, because there's no track record of you doing that. So it just doesn't make sense. It's like somebody telling you, if you give me 1 million, I will use it to help people maybe let's say who are hungry. But then if you try to ask, have you ever used 500 francs of your own money to help anybody who was hungry? And the person says no. You see, then it doesn't make, it's not very encouraging that the person now tell you he needs more money, or more resources to do something he has never done before. So in the domain of the girls, there's this aspect where you have to demonstrate some interest in tech and community. Now, one of the ways that you might want to do this or to prove one of the ways that you might want to prove to the people reviewing the TechGirls application that you actually have an interest in technology and you actually have an interest in building your communities is by using your community engagement experience. Because if you've done something that is related to using tech to help people, even at a small level, it already shows them that this is somebody who's already doing it. And if we invest in him, if we give him the opportunity to travel to the US and have the experience and have the visit to the White House, to NASA, and all those things, we're sure that when you go back home, he will just continue doing what he was doing, which is helping his community, but at a bigger scale. So that's the importance of community engagement as far as profile building is concerned, because it proves to others, especially to admission officers, what is it that you've been doing and what is it that matters to you. So broadly speaking now, if I had to try to explain what qualifies and what does not qualify as a community engagement, then it becomes a bit more, it's very broad. Because as I would say, as long as you're having an activity that is genuinely something you want to participate in, maybe if it's something you're not even forced to, like, it's not part of your program, because I know there's some schools, some high schools where you have to clean your cars after people, some days you have to clean your cars. So as long as it's an activity that you're genuinely interested in taking, in doing, and it helps, even if it's one person in one way, then it qualifies as a community engagement activity. So even if it's deciding that at the end of every week, you're going to organize tutorial sessions to help your classmates who didn't understand something in class, that's community engagement. Your school is a community. If it's deciding that once a week on Sundays or Saturdays, you help clean you're not your house, because you have to do that, but you help clean, let's say, the roads that's between your house and that of your neighbor. That's community engagement, because your neighborhood is a community. If you decided in your school, but now it's a bit more difficult, it's a bit more specific, because as far as TechGirl is concerned, it's interest in tech and community engagement in tech. So if it's that in your class, let's say you're interested in tech, and there are a lot of your classmates who are too. So if you decide, for example, to learn a new programming language or to learn a new skill in tech, and then coming back and organizing classes for your classmates, that's community engagement, because that's something that you did and that had an impact in the life of another person. So broadly speaking, as long as you can have an activity that you're doing that is genuinely out of your will, nobody's forcing you to do it, and it changes the life or impacts the life of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, then it qualifies as community engagement. And it's very important, because firstly, it gives you an inward perspective. It makes you understand some things about yourself that you might have not understood. And then secondly, it's a good testament to admission officers, because it shows them things that you're genuinely interested in doing. So that's just a brief about community engagement. And now I realize some people joined late, and maybe network issue, so people were joining and leaving. So if you have any questions, I would love to take them. Yes, someone. Someone.
Okay, yes, thank you, Mr. Jules Mokam. Uh, okay, you said that, uh, for instance, me, I have a club in school, youth leadership club, which is basically a club which train, which I train other people about on time management skills, public speaking skills, and all everything concerning personal development. And my question was, when you involve yourself in community management issues, how do you uh, what proof can you show for it when you are applying? Like you said, you are maybe uh, cleaning
Your
the
neighborhood.
street. Yes,
Yeah.
your neighborhood. What is the proof that you are going to show when you are going to apply for it, when you are going to apply to universities abroad? Yes, what can you take show as proof to those universities that, okay, I say that I did this, but and this is the proof that I did this. That was my question. Thank you.
Okay. Now, of course, this is a very pertinent question because, especially for us, which we're a bit disadvantaged. We're in a different country, so when we're applying to programs in the US, they don't really understand everything. So, like, there's some things that if somebody tells you while you're in Cameroon, you immediately know what it means. But for them, it's not the same context. Like, there's some neighborhoods in the US. I'm pretty sure they have people cleaning the streets normally. So maybe you deciding to do that does might not have the same meaning to them. So now, to prove that you've done something, there are a couple of ways you can do that. Now, one of the things first is by doing it, let's say, with a registered organization, uh, because when you do it, they generally issue certificates. And when you be applying for your scholarship, your counselor will upload your certificates. That's one. The second thing is by true letter of recommendation, because if you say you did something, but in fact, when you say you do something and you write about it, if you really did it, then there's a different way of writing about it. So the second thing, the second thing, sorry, the way you write about the activity kind of can give hints about if you actually did it or if you didn't do it. But thirdly, letters of recommendation, because your counselors, your teachers, sometimes even your friends will have to write about you. So when your counselor validates some of the things that you've done, it gives them the sense of, it actually makes sense. But now the fourth way, which I personally think it's one of the most effective, is by maintaining an active social media presence. Have digital footprints of the things you do, especially on platforms like LinkedIn, because now when admission officers really do go through your application, my guess is they actually do search you. So if you have a good digital footprint of what happens when you're applying, you can put link of, let's say you did it, for example, you organize a community cleanup day in your neighborhood. You take pictures, you report on Facebook, and when you'll be applying, you put the link there so they can go and see pictures of and actually see that that's something you did. I hope I answered your question, Samuel. So just to recap, the first thing is by doing it with a registered organization that has, that can vouch for you basically by giving you maybe a certificate and attesting that you did it. The second thing is by writing in a genuine manner so that the officers can, the admission officers can actually feel that you actually did it. The third way was by maintaining an active online presence that speaks of the activities that you do so that they can see it by themselves. And I think that's most of what you can do. The letters of recommendation too. Did I answer your question, Samuel?
Yes, I understood. But the second point you said is by writing it in a way that the those who are looking at your document can actually feel that you really did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the question was like which how can you write it in a way that they can feel actually that you did what you said.
Okay. I think this is an important question you're asking and might require a little bit more detailed explanation because now it's about a bit about writing. But
Yes.
generally, generally, when you write about something you that really matters to you, you can feel it. But some good hints or some good tricks is that when you write your essays, you try to emphasize a lot about what it meant for you in terms of if you can understand it at a more personal level. It's like let's take your example of your club, which by the way I really like that design initiative. Now, if you're reporting about your club, it might make sense for you to connect the activities of your club first by speaking of the reason why you started it to begin with. Now, give some details about what happened through the development. Make a detailed story, not just mentioning it. So, it might not give a 100% as a 100% proof that you actually did it. But if you make an elaborated point that makes sense and is coherent, an elaborated narrative about why you started it, what you've been doing, and how it has affected you, then it kind of reduces the risk they think you're lying, but it's not 100% proof. The most valuable, or the two most valuable I would suggest is the one you do the thing, the letters of recommendation, and two, you have an online presence especially if it's that you did it with an organization, so that you can do it and they repost.
So an online presence means that I snap the community engagement activities I do and I post it online. Is that what it means?
I didn't hear you. Please can you come back?
Yes, I was asking if the online, you said online this thing that you said, does it mean that
Mm-hmm.
I should create a platform where I I snap the community activities that I do and I post it on that page to serve as a
Well, you
proof?
don't have to create one per se because you can go on existing ones. Like, do you have a LinkedIn account?
Not yet.
Okay, you should start by creating one. That could be a good idea, and you just use it as a place to document your progress. In the sense where you do something on, like you need to create a LinkedIn account. Maybe you can take it as an assignment for this evening. You do a LinkedIn, you create a LinkedIn account. When you have a session with your club, for example, I don't know if you're allowed cameras or phones in school, but the days you can ask maybe for a teacher's phone. You take pictures. You put on a LinkedIn profile, say, I'm excited to announce that we had an interesting session today at my school during my initiative. This the highlights. We did this. These are the tasks that happened. This is what this, and I look forward to more sessions. You go for community cleanup. You make sure you take pictures and you report online. So you don't have to create a website from scratch. Though you can create a portfolio website for yourself, but it's a bit more complex. Maybe just start by creating a LinkedIn account, posting a report of the activity, different activities you do, and maybe a Facebook account too, and doing the same. Then you reference those posts or those accounts when you'll be applying for stuff.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if there are any questions in the chat, or does anybody else have a question? Yes, Tamu.
Please, I want to ask, what about programs that they don't ask for any link to the social media platform? How can you also be sure that you actually believe what you're saying?
Yeah.
What about
Okay.
programs?
Then
Uh,
no, I heard your
what
question.
about
What about programs where you
okay?
can ask for links? Oh well, I feel like you can always sneak in a link somewhere. Like in your essay, maybe you put it somewhere. But if they don't ask you for links, it's still fine because I think most of the programs ask for a letter of recommendation, especially if it's college applications. You have like at least 3 or 4 letters of recommendations to submit. So if your teachers can vouch for your activities, your counselor, if you're an open gym scholar like I was, or like I am, sorry, your open gym's mentor would vouch for your activities. So if there are no links, then there's the thing. Yeah, the recommendations. If there are no recommendations, then you have to write genuine in a way that actually feels like you did it. Though I feel like most of the times, even if they don't ask for your social media links, they will kind of search it. Especially when it concerns, like college applications. Because at some point, it's in different stages. At some point, when they come to admission decision, like admissions committee, when they have to debate and they need more information, they can call you for interviews. But my guess is I'm pretty sure they check your social medias, or at least they Google your name.
Okay, please, I want to ask another question just to be sure. So,
Okay.
the head of the science club in my school, and I'm currently going to be attending a STEM program. So, what I'm planning is that the skills that I'm going to be getting from there, I'll be teaching in the science club. Can I also include it as a community project, community involvement?
Which school is that?
GBHS Bamendankwe.
Okay. Well, definitely it falls in line with the community engagement program because the idea is you have a community, which is your school, and you have an initiative that engages people in that community. So it definitely it's a community engagement. But a lot of things can qualify for community engagements, but not all community engagement activities are equal. That's something that I think I should send out there. But there's some community engagement, let's say, like doing one thing is more like it's better than another. So the STEM club is a great idea, honestly, because it speaks a lot in terms of your interest in tech. Because there's the idea where you have to learn, and it was a self-motivated attempt. Nobody, it was not a school course. You decided to learn, and you launched the initiative back in your school. So it's definitely a great community engagement. Now, what you might just work on now is the way in which you structure your curriculum. In a sense where it's good to launch a club, it's good to say that, there's a club, but now the club has to, to follow a certain curriculum to begin with, certain activities in terms of reach of the club. Because after, if you have to report, is it that you engage people in your school or just in your class? What happened outside of the class? Like if you can push the initiative a bit further, like the boundaries of it a bit further, then it becomes even again a bigger, or more impactful story to tell. But it's definitely qualifies as a community engagement activity. And you to actually, Samuel, too, you said you had created a club in your group. So what you guys can do is there'll be another mentorship session coming on after, but you can just send a message in the group, the Tech Girls group, somewhere and Tamo. Just rewrite it so that maybe I can send you a message, someone to send you guys a message following up on the clubs and see how, we can maybe help you understand better how it's a community engagement and how you can improve on it for it to shine more in your applications. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. But now Jospen just made me now let me know that I've exceeded my time. Well, it was a pleasure talking with you guys. I wish you guys all good luck, and we'll probably be seeing again in a bit. So bye bye everyone.
Engagement. What I've learned from him is that extra school academics, that school excellence is not just enough for the Tech Girls program. We need some community engagement, some extracurricular activities. So that's why I'm going to work you guys on a leadership. Yeah, I'm going to give you a brief session on leadership where I will actually focus on goal settings. Yeah, Tamo Nengo, please, you can place your hand down. So I'm going to do a little presentation on leadership. Okay, guys. Since I was actually unable to share my screen, so what we are going to do is we'll actually leave the floor to Miss Kyria, who is going to talk about crafting compelling essays, while I actually prepare my PowerPoints on leadership. So, Miss Kyria, the floor is yours.
Okay, hello everybody. While Jospen tries to sort out the slides thing, I hope we are all doing well. You guys are welcome again, and I hope we are all learning a lot. Samuel, thank you so much for your question, and I think this session will really go a long way to reinforce all what Mr. Jules said, and then you get to understand how you can write, differently from somebody who did not carry out an exercise. So just sit tight and then. Okay, as Chanel is preparing, I think we're just going to start. So today we're going to be talking about essay writing. For you to be selected for any program at all, especially if it is competitive, you definitely have to answer some essay prompts. You have to give in some information that is going to differentiate you from other, applicants. And so we're going to look at what an essay is. How can you write a compelling essay? What are the things you should keep at the back of your mind to be able to craft out, a competitive essay? So by way of definition, an essay is a piece of writing. It is not an audio or a video that you're going to submit. It is a piece of writing that describes or narrates or explains, about a particular topic. So if they ask you for an essay on the challenges that you faced, you're not going to be sharing an essay of something else. It has to be particularly about a challenge that you faced. And so next thing is for your essay to stand out, it has to be organized and it has to focus on a single prompt. So the organization is of key. The fact that it explains and it describes and it narrates is also very important. And then the next thing is it has to have a logical flow, like it should flow We cannot ask you about a challenge you faced, and then you start by telling us the solution before coming to tell us about the challenge. Automatically, it doesn't make sense. So it has to have a logical flow. And last but not the least, we have different types of essays. We have a one paragraph essay that you basically have to write about 100 to 300 words, and that is what they're going to be asking you for the Tech Girls essay. We have three paragraph essays that you have to write about 500 to 700 words, and then we have long essays that include about 5,000 words. Okay, I can see the slides are here. So as I was saying, basically for the Tech Girls AC, they ask for 150 to 250 words. So it means that you're not writing a lot. That means that you have to have a lot of information, and at the same time you write it in a very smart way, in such a way that you're not boring the audience or the reviewer, but you're passing across a message. So we're going to go forward to looking at the importance of essay writing. Why is it important that you have to write an essay? Before you write an essay, you have to put down before you write an essay, there are certain things that you have to think about, you have to brainstorm. So first, it's going to encourage you to be able to organize your work, to structure your thoughts so that they can flow. Remember, we said for an essay, it has to be, it has to explain, it has to describe, it has to flow, it has to be coherent. And then the next thing is, it's going to promote creativity, because whether you like it or not, each and every one of us have a different view. We have a unique perspective. We view things differently. So if they ask about a challenge that you faced, and 10 of us are supposed to write essays on that, we're going to write 10 different essays. So because you are you and I am me, it's going to promote creativity, because you write differently and another person is going to write differently. So the more creative you are, the more your essay is appealing to read. The next thing is, because you're not the person reading that essay, is a reviewer that has to read that essay. It has to be able to deepen the understanding of a certain topic, because sometimes, like Jules said, when you get to a tie, they have to start asking questions. But who do we pick? Why should we invest in this person and not in this person? If somebody can be able to remember that, oh, I like this person's essay better, and then they can be able to pick the person. So your essay should be able to deepen, an understanding of a certain topic. Last but not the least, essay writing improves communication, because you will be able to develop, your thoughts and articulate them effectively. If I am thinking in my head that this is what I want this person to know about me, or maybe the challenge I have faced, or maybe the different skills that I have, and I do not write them clearly in an essay, I am not sure that the person reading that's what the person is going to get. So your essay, it is important that it improves or it communicates effectively. Tick, that's next slide. So we're going to look at the different components of, essay writing. When we were taught in secondary school that an essay typically has three paragraphs. We have introduction, we have the body, and then we have the conclusion. Next slide, please. So by way of introduction, it means you're going to be introducing your essay. The One of the essays for the Tech Girls program they are asking is, who or what, spark your interest in technology or in STEM. Let's take, for example, that essay. By way of introduction, you will have to bring up something, or you have to start with a hook. Please, next slide. You have to start with something, maybe a thought-provoking statement, maybe a question, maybe a fact, to be able to engage the reader, so that the person can stay on your essay to read through the entire essay till the end. Let's take, for example, I personally am passionate about climate change and agriculture. So my hook could be, there is no planet B. And then the person will be asking, but what does she mean by there is no planet B? The person will want to read throughout to be able to understand why I am saying that there is no planet B. And by me saying there's no planet B, I'll have to go ahead to explain the climate change effects on my community. What are the things I've been able to do? Blah, 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 blah. That comes in the body. So I'm giving evidences. If I've planted trees, if I've trained rural women, if I've done this, I'm giving those examples because they are supporting the fact that I said that there is no planet B, and so we have to do blah 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 to be able to support Mother Earth. And by way of conclusion, once you do that, you've given all what you have to do in terms of evidence and explanations. You end by affirming what you said at the beginning, that's in the introduction. If you said there is no planet B, then you'll be, blah 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 blah. So basically, those are the components of an essay. You should introduce. Yes, you have just 250 words, so you can be able to introduce, and you should have a body, a developed body, and then you should be able to conclude well. So for you to be able to do this, to write well, to write effectively, to communicate properly through an essay, we're going to look at the STAR approach, because this approach helps you to make sure that you've answered the prompt that you are being asked, or to make sure to give all the information that is necessary for you to, to pull through. For the STAR approach, the S stands for situation, T stands for task, A stands for action, and R stands for results. Now, Samuel, you will realize that if you use this approach in writing any essay, as I was saying, S stands for situation, T task, A action, R results. So by way of situation, you're introducing what the situation is or was. Let's take, for example, one of the essays for the tech girls. You're asking who, and whatsoever sparked your interest in technology. That's where you're going to be introducing something that has to do with technology. They don't have to know all the details, because in terms of percentage, what did you have to do? Whether it is a challenge that you had faced, what were the responsibilities that you were given to be able to overcome that challenge? It gives you 10%. Now, where you need to lay emphasis is on the action, because that gives you 60%. This is where you're going to be telling us that I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that, or we did this, I collaborated with this person, I took the initiative to do this, and so on and so forth. And then the person will be able to understand that, okay, you actually did this thing. And then by way of concluding, you end with R, which is the results. What were the results? You did all of that. What were the results? Were they positive? Were they negative? Did you fail or did you succeed? They want to know. And sometimes you may want to add an L to the STAR L approach so that you can add the lessons learned. It depends on the number of words that you have, so you can be flexible. So we're going to look at an example using the STAR approach. So this student says, by way of situation, when I was in junior high school, there were several students in my math class who were struggling with some of the complex concepts. By way of task, what were they supposed to do? There was an upcoming national exam, and the student was asked by the math teacher to assist the student finally do. What were the actions? I stayed after school twice a week. You see, there are numbers. That's another thing about actions. How many students did you, are you taking on leadership courses or leadership sessions? Are there 5? Is it so? Numbers give you, a vivid picture. So they stayed after school twice to review the material. They created. You see, the words are descriptive. The person stayed. There's a number. The person created. The person demonstrated. I explained strategies. I developed. Those are the kind of things they want to see to show action. And then what were the results that came because of this action? The class average was the highest in the past 10 years. So overall, the students that this particular student helped got a better understanding. It is, I can see the student helping the people to get, so that's why, when no matter what you have, you put your ideas together. What is the situation? What do I have to do? What did I do? What were the results? It's really going to help you to, craft compelling essays. Next slide. So if we want to look at the essays that they are asking, the essay prompts for this year, we have what or who initially sparked your interest in the field of technology, 250 words. Again, what is the situation? What is it? The fact that at a young age you were very interested in electronics, you wanted to see how the people in the TV, are they really inside the TV, or how does the fan function, how does the, what happened? If it is, who is it? A scientist? Is it your teacher? Is it maybe a mentor? They should know. So you should be able to describe who is the person and why is it that person, why is it that the person spark that interest in you. Those are the things you should be answering in the first prompt. The second prompt: why is participating in this program important to you? If you listen to what Britney said, and they've asked both personally and academically. People always focus on academically and they do not mention maybe personally, because they're trying to strike a balance. As a human being, you should know when something is balanced. So you should be following up with your personal life and then your academical life. So you should tell us personally, what are the skills that are going to help you academically. What are the skills and knowledge that you understand? What network? What are the, like, what type of skills? And it is even written there, what type of skills do you hope to develop and improve? It means that you should tell them that there are skills you're hoping to develop. It means you do not know everything yet, but then you also have some skills that you will want to improve. Is it your communication skills? Is it your public speaking skills? What are the skills that you want to improve during the Tech Girls program? That is what they want to see. The next prompt is: describe a challenge you have faced and how you overcame it. What was the challenge? Was it the fact that your grades were poor in math, like the star example we just saw? Were you the one who was struggling with grades and then you had to go for more tutoring? You had to look for a mentor in math. You had to spend extra hours. You had to, put in extra hours of work to be able to get your average up or get your grades up. Angel, what is it? So what did you do? What is it that you did? And at the end of the day, if you overcame that challenge, what are the results? The next essay is, they're telling you one of the requirements is that you apply your skills after the program. As you must have heard Britney mentioned, she's working on some follow-up projects. So by now you should have a project that you want to work on or you're working on, and then hoping that when you get there, you get new knowledge and understanding and skills that will help you to come back and do a follow-up project. So you should describe how you will use the skills. What kind of skills do you need? Is it coding skills? Do you want to, work on an app? What is it that you want to do? And how will it help your community? So they know that definitely you're coming there because you have the community at heart. And it goes back to what you mentioned, community engagement. What is it that you want to solve? Is it in health? Is it in tech? Is it in agriculture? What is it? And how would you use that project to help your community? The next essay is, what are 2 words that describe you? It could be 1, it could be 2. What is it? If you say you're resilient, can you give us an example? Can we read through and at the end we can conclude that yes, this person is resilient? If you say you're innovative, can we see it in your essay? Why would you think that you're innovative? So you should describe it and why. So you give us the word and then you describe why you think that is so. So altogether, they have 10 essays. We have 5 of them with essay word count, and then we have 5 of them without essay word count. Next slide, please. So the essays with no word count, we have the first one: what are the academic subjects you are interested in? So you have to tell us, are you interested in math, physics, further math, chemistry? What? Don't forget, it is a STEM field kind of program. So you have to make sure that the subjects that you're telling us, are somehow related to those fields. The second is, please list in the space below any specific classes in which you have participated in the field of technology. What classes are you interested in? Maybe in the theory of relativity, or what are the classes that you've taken? They said specific, so you're not just going to say physics class. What specific classes? What classes during the physics class? What are those that are of interest to you? So you should be able to list them there. The third is, describe any extracurricular activities you've participated in. Again, extracurricular activities in relation to STEM. Did you work on a project that had to supply maybe electricity? Did you work on a on a project that had to build an app. What did you do, and how long have you been involved with each? If you had any awards or honors, this is where you state it, because by way of, supporting documents, you may have certificates that can be able to back up that maybe your project won the hackathon during this, and so on and so forth. And this is why it is important for you to get involved in certain activities like the TIC Summit for those that are in the secondary school, because it's going to expose you, to give you the experience that you need to be able to pull through these ACEs, and it will give you also some skills before you can keep on improving on them. And then the next essay is describe any additional extracurricular activity, in bracket non-STEM related. Again, we talk of balance. The fact that yes, you're passionate about STEM does not mean that you should ignore when they're doing cleanup campaigns, or if they're planting trees. You shouldn't just be tech. What other thing have you done? You should be able to tell us there. The last but not the least, please, in the space below, your plans for the future. What do you want to become, or the possible occupations? Do you want to be a software engineer? Do you want to be a pilot? Do you want to be an aeronautical engineer? What do you want to become? Do you want to become a science teacher or a math professor, so that you can provide us with models to be able to help us predict, maybe, to predict climate change issues? So what do you want to do in terms of that? So you should be able to tell us there. Okay, by way forward, if you've not started your ACs, you should start now, because you have to. It's not something that you write once and then you get it. You will write and rewrite, and you will write and write and write. The next thing is you should explore different activities by volunteering. That's why it's important for you to volunteer. You should get committed, because you can be involved in an activity, but you're not committed to that activity. So it'll be going on, but at the same time, you don't know what is going on. So you should get involved. There are so many platforms where you can be able to gain, skills and experiences. And I think TIC Foundation is one. So if you are here and you're not part of TIC Foundation, you should get on board. The next thing is you should get a mentor. Because with a mentor, there are certain mistakes that you will not make. With a mentor, there are certain experiences that you will get for free, or certain life lessons. So it's always important to submit to somebody who has walked the path that you want to walk, or somebody who has an idea of what you want to do. The next thing is to click on the submit button. Because if we do all of this, you write all the beautiful essays and you do not submit, then we've all wasted our time. And I think we don't want to waste our time, because I believe that the next tech girl should be somebody that we know, or somebody who joined the call today. So thank you very much. And any questions?
Uh, Please, we are running out of time. Please, kindly post your questions on the message part, please. So while doing that, Britney Mukoko will still give a brief talk on how to apply. Like, she's going to show us how the application, the website looks like. So the different parts of the of the website. So thank you.
All right, so here on the website, I'm just going to click on apply here. And please, before you apply for the TechGirls program, go through the website, read. You're not just applying blindly. For you to connect, for the TechGirls to see you as a perfect fit, you have to demonstrate in your application that you can relate with them. So you must put in your application things that they look out for in applicants. But of course, be as authentic as you can. All right, so in here, all right, so here on the website, I'm just going to click on apply now, apply here. All right, so here I see there are two applications under Legacy International. So you want to apply for TechGirls. And as I was saying, please, before you apply, read the information, read the success stories, read the community engagement posts on the website, on the TechGirl's website, because from there you can have an idea, know how to add to your application. Because if you apply and you have a very good application, but it does not fit to their expectations, then you'll not be taken. So I'm just going to go to application, and then I have 2025 TechGirls application. I'm going to click here to start a new application. You click here to start a new application if you have not created an account for for your 2025 application. Otherwise, you sign in if you have created an account on this website for your application. That is, you sign in if you have started your TechGirls application for 2025 already. Otherwise, you have to create a new application. So I'm going to click here to start a new application because I've never started an application for TechGirls 2025 on this website. So you just come and accept everything. You don't have to start reading. I mean, save and continue. And then create an account. I hope I can use my email because I used it last year for the TechGirls I was mentoring. I hope it's gonna work. All right, so when you put your email, ensure that you put the correct email. You see a message that they have sent you a confirmation. Okay, so now I can conveniently come back here after confirming that email from Legacy International. I'm going to fill in my Gmail and the password that I created. Now log in. Great. So now I'm logged into the TechGirls 2025 application portal, and you see that everything here goes chronologically. That means that you must finish one stage of one set of information before going to the next. So it starts with eligibility information. From this first stage, if you do not qualify, if you're not eligible from the information you put in here, you'll not be able to continue. So you want to be sure that you put in the correct information so that you can continue. So people might put in the wrong information and you'll be wondering if village people do not want them to go to the US. You have to be very meticulous and ensure that you put in the correct information. So when I get into eligibility information, I am simply going to put information about my citizenship, residence, country of residence, your date of birth as on your official documents, your gender identity, the only two genders, female and male. And they also want to know if you're able to answer our questions in English and stuff like that. So it's really, really about you and if you're eligible. So you want to be very, very clear. You want to read very well all the information that is here before you answer. Otherwise, you might not be able to go to the next part of it. So you see that here we have eligibility information. Because of time, we cannot fill all of that. We have eligibility information. We have general information, contact information, education information, academic and community interest, essay information, supporting documents. Supporting document, you might need to get your transcript from your school for this. So you need to get your transcript from your school. And then application signature and parental guidance signature. All right, so you might have not seen this before, but probably you already got some direction. Sorry that I figured this out just now. So we are on the TechGirls application portal. After you Let me just try to see if I can take it back. All right, you can go back. Okay, so you come here to create your account. When you click on apply here, okay, let me take it back. So you can click here, apply here. And when you click on apply here, I'm brought directly into my application portal because I have already logged in. I've created an account, and so I'm directly brought here because I already logged in. So first of all, you create an account if you have not yet started working on your application. And then when you click on the send confirmation email, they will inform you that I've sent you an email, and you have to check that email from Legacy International. Click on that email, and there you're going to be prompted to create a password for your TechGirl's portal. So now when you do all of that, you have to, okay, right now. Okay. When you do all of that and you create your password, you can now sign in. And when you sign in, you're going to see something like this. And as I was saying, you have to be very meticulous when filling the eligibility information, because if you don't fill it correctly, you are not going to proceed. Right? That information is very important. Also, the general information, I think that's where, okay, also the education information, because if they ask you when you're graduating from high school and you say you're graduating in 2024, or you're graduated already, or you're graduating in 2025, then please, you will not be able to continue the application, and you might think it is English people. So you have to be very, very careful. And that is why it is for people in Form 5, Form 4, Form 5, and lower, as far as you are, as long as you are between ages 15 to 17. And then also you have to prepare your transcript, because you need it. You need to upload a PDF of your transcript, or picture format, or whatever they will require. You need that also. You need your parents to sign. Your parents' information and signature must be on your application for it to be complete. All right. So you might want to get your parents involved in this process. And because of time, we cannot go through everything. And as you see, you must finish one part of the application before you're able to move to the other. So if you don't feel some information correct in one part, you might not be able to move to the next. All right. So all the best with your application. I am hoping that we are going to have another session. Maybe it all depends on the TIC Foundation. We are hoping also that the next cohort of Tech Girls comes from these efforts that are being put in place. Looking forward to, I don't know, working with you guys more on your Tech Girls application, and be intentional. Please do not procrastinate. Do not overthink. The Tech Girls program is very easy to get, but if you want to start overthinking and thinking that you're not good enough, you might not get it. You have barely a month to submit your application, and you want to be very, very, very excellent with your essays, because Tech Girls has become very, very competitive. I got information from the director of admissions from the Tech Girls. I spoke with her last year, and she told me that last year Tech Girls application for Cameroon got the highest percentage compared to the applications you see from all around the world. So you see that it's getting more widespread. How do I put it? It's getting more and more visible in Cameroon. So you want to stand out, be authentic. Don't use ChatGPT. Don't tell ChatGPT to generate essays for you. Talk about your story. Talk about yourself, because that's the only way you're going to stand out. All right. All the best. Thank you so much, and have a good evening.
Thank you too.
Okay, thank you very much. That's leadership. So, please, I'll be very brief so that I don't too much exceed your time. So, I'll actually do a presentation. Okay. So, what's leadership? Leadership is not just all about maybe being at the level of government and giving some instructions to people that okay, do this, do this. It is qualities which may stand out or show you that you're a leader. Example, maybe the classroom is dirty and you just find yourself trying to clean that classroom and people tend to follow you in doing that activity. That's already leadership that you show to them. Or maybe you just maybe stand and they're having difficulties in math and you stand and solve math questions together with your mates, and that's leadership. So it's just all about inspiring people, communicating with people, and make them follow you to solve. Okay, what's goal set to achieve your desired outcome? What is your goal as a student, or what is your goal as a tech girl or a girl aspiring to be in tech? What do you need to be selected for the tech girls program, or what do I need to stand out from the other applications? So that's what we are actually going to see. Firstly, you have to know the different types of goal you want to achieve. Which types of goals are there, and which category of like the different goals, where do they actually fall? So process goals are those specific goals that you perform. Example, uh, let's say every after 2 hours you must have dinner. That's a process goal. That's every after 2 hours you eat. Every after 2 hours you eat. Also, performance goal. Performance goal is based on personal standards. For example, aiming to achieve maybe 3.5 GPA, and performance goals is somehow like personal goals, and but they are controllable. And finally, outcome goals look like securing a scholarship at a particular place you want. So outcome goals are very difficult to control because other outside influences. That is, you can be influenced by other things. Maybe okay, you find yourself setting your outcome goals. Okay, that I'll actually participate in the TechGirl program. So what do you need? You need some maybe community engagement. You need leadership. You need outstanding result at the school level. But now you don't seem to cover all these requirements, so you think you haven't overcome your outcome goals. So firstly, before setting goals, you have to make sure the goals are smart. You have to make sure your goals meet the smart criteria, which simply stand the smart is the acronym: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So when we talk of specific, what exactly do you want to accomplish? So you need to have that specific goal, that okay, I want to take part in the Tech Girls program. That's being specific. Also, you try to see measurable. How will you measure your progress? What are the success metrics? What are the milestones you've put in place for that? You also need to look if they are achievable. Is it realistic? Can I actually achieve this goal? Maybe someone's goal will be to go to space or be the next Elon Musk. Now you have to just try to check it out. Is it realistic? Do you have the necessary resources or skills needed to actually attain or achieve these your goals? So that's just it. Then we have the realistic. How does the goals fit into larger objective, dreams, or aspirations? And finally, time bound. What is your time set? Set a deadline or time for each stage of this goal. Next slide. After you have set the SMART goals, the next thing is action steps. So action steps are simply those specific steps you take or specific actions you take to accomplish your goals. So this is a simple chart, a simple table where if actually you want to take action steps, you can set it, the steps, you describe the action and the deadline. Then after you have set the action step, you have to go now to the potential obstacles. Potential obstacles, what hinders you from actually achieving your goal? How can you overcome the obstacles? And finally, your progress metrics. That's tracking progress. So you need to have in such a way that anything you do that is successful, that's a milestone you have achieved, you note it down. What actually helped you and how did it help you? So you put the date, the milestone achieved, and the reflection or the notes of everything about the progress tracking. Then this is a case study where Blessings wants to apply for the TechGirl. Firstly, she has made her goals smart because she actually wants to be part of the TechGirls program. Now, what's her action plan? Step one, she describes the action, complete the orientation and review the program learning resources. She places her deadline, that is the 12th of November 2024. Step 2, she sets up a weekly study schedule, allocating time for practice, and the deadline is 20th of November 2024. And her other step, she meets her mentors to discuss the progress and refine her goals. That is, she meets with the mentor, they try to review her essays and try to ameliorate on it. And after she has actually placed her action plan like that, she now tries to look on the potential obstacles that she might encounter. An example, lack of time due to school. She did not actually finish her essays. Why? Because she had to maybe do her homeworks in school, or maybe she had practicals. So those are the type of goal settings that you need to put in place, and this is how you have to take it, the procedure you have to follow in order to achieve them. And finally, progress tracking. Maybe on the 15th, Blessing finished her essay, so she's going to write it down. That's just a milestone, and that's the procedure she follows for everything she has to do. So that's all. Thank you very much. This is all about the goal settings. You try to reflect on it. I'm going to share the PowerPoint to the group so that everyone actually brainstorm and try to apply it. So thank you very much for your time. Respect the time we have entered into an extra time. So please try bear with us that next time we're actually having a meeting, we'll try respecting our time. And also, you guys, please try to join the meeting on time. Thank you very much. Please, if you have any questions, try ask and answer them, and we'll leave. Okay, since no one has a question, maybe you might have a question after, so you can post it on the WhatsApp group so we can help you guys. uh I wish you all the best through your application process, and I look forward to seeing all of you guys. Thank you. Bye. Also, before we end, activities we carried out, and we are looking forward to our next meeting on Saturday, which is still be online. Thank you.